Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a full face of Mary Kay, and so everything I have on is Mary Kay products. If you'd like to see how to get this nice kind of dewy natural look, just keep watching. Alright, so first off I'm going to go in with, this is the Mary Kay cream eye color, and this is in Beach Blonde. This is actually what I use as my eye primer because it works amazingly to hold down your eyeshadows all day long. So I'm just going to take that on my finger and I'm going to apply it on my lid. I'm going to go on the direct lid next to my lash line and then up into my crease and kind of cover up the veins I have. I'll cover it a little bit more with concealer in a minute though. So then I'm going to do that to both eyes. And it's really soft. It has like a kind of a silky consistency. It has little sparkles inside of it. So, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily suggest this as your only eyeshadow, but it makes an awesome, what am I trying to say? An awesome primer. I guess if you had dark, like more, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to speed through this really fast because my camera only has so much battery, so I need to take a chill pill and slow down when I talk. If you had like really solid lids that didn't have any veins in them, this might like look really nice as a single shadow, or maybe a darker color would look nice as a single shadow. But I really like using this as an eye primer because it holds my eyeshadows on like all dang day. It's impressive. So then after that, I'm going to take, this is the Light Ivory Concealer, and I'm going to take this and set down, I'm kind of canceling out my veins on my lids, and I'm going to do this over the eyeshadow primer. The eyeshadow primer alone works really, really well with eyeshadows, and the concealer, as soon as you use concealer, it can cause it to crease a little faster. But if you have like veins on your eyelids like I do, then this is really going to help because it cancels out those veins, and it also creates like a really nice fine canvas, even though your face is not really a canvas. It like makes a flat color for you to do your eyeshadows on top of. So I'm just putting that over my eyelid where I put down the cream eyeshadow, and then I'm going to go in and set it down with my translucent loose powder in just a second. I can still see a tiny bit of that vein, so I'm going to cover that up a little bit more. This one. I have like this little blue vein right here on my eyelid, and ooh, that was more than I wanted. It likes to flaunt itself, and I don't want it to flaunt itself. I want it to hide. So I'm going to grab my translucent loose powder, also by Mary Kay, because this is a full face of Mary Kay. And I'm going to tap a little bit into the lid and grab my powder brush. I'm going to take that, tap it off, and then set down the concealer I just put on my eyelid in stippling motions. This powder is amazing because it is milled 5 times. So the basic translucent and powder, like translucent loose powders, finishing powders, setting powders, mineral foundations, like by standard, industry standard, they only have to be milled like 3 times, and some of them are even milled only 2 times. And when they're only milled 3 times, you get a little bit more thick of a finish, whereas this, or not thick of a finish, like your powder's thicker. This is so finely milled, it's milled 5 times. So when you tap it off, you can literally see smoke because it's so nicely milled, like so finely milled. I have got to finish my coffee so I can have like a statement that actually makes sense for you guys. Okay, so after that, I'm going to grab my Pro palette. This is the Mary Kay Pro palette. It's this giant magnetic palette, so you can put all your stuff inside of it. These 3 are not Mary Kay, they're just magnetic, so I had stuck them in there, and I find that I never use them, so I should take them out. Anyways, I'm going to go into, this is a fluffy brush, and this is, dang it, I just dropped one. This is a 3 mini tapered blending brush by Farrah. I'm going to try to use only Mary Kay brushes, but I'm going to use this one for my fluffy brush. Sorry, I dropped you, brush. Okay, so I'm going to go into this shade right here. This is called Hazelnut. See if you can see it. That one right there. I'm going to use Hazelnut, and I'm going to apply this in my crease as my transition shade. And it just creates a really, really nice light transition. You can build it up from super simple of like not really seeing it, or you can build it up to really seeing the transition shade. I like to just do a really basic transition filler. It's not going to be like totally seeing brown all over in my crease. So I'm brushing this one in. When I was at a workshop last week, one of the best transition shades that the makeup artist was showing was the shade Toffee from the Mary Kay collection. And I believe it's limited edition, so if you want it, go get it now. I have to go get my own. So I'm just continuing to transition. I'm trying to go quickly today because I'm using my cell phone camera, and it always craps out on me. So forgive me as I try to speed through this for you guys. And I want to do minimal editing, so if I can do like little to no editing, that would be so ideal. Because I'm trying to get these YouTube videos back for you guys, but my life is so busy that having time to edit is like nearly impossible. Okay. I'm blending that out. Always blend, 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 so there's no harsh lines. And always build up your makeup. Oh, my light just died. Can you guys see a difference? Yes, you can. Dang it. My mirror's dying. Anyways, blend, blend, blend. You always want to blend out any fine lines. Unless you're going for like an artistry look that has fine lines. Okay, what should we do? I'm just going to do a simple look today, I think. I'm sorry, my light just died and this exposure is going to change. I'm going to go in with the shade Merlot. And I'm going to take, this is a all over eyeshadow brush. I'm going to dip into the Merlot. And I'm going to go on the outer edge of my eye, on the outer third of my lid. And I'm going to blend that in and then up a little bit into my transition. And then anything I want to blend out, I'm going to take that fluffy brush and blend out with. I'm going to keep building that to how I like it. And to the other side. I'm so praying my phone doesn't die while I record this video so you guys can have another makeup tutorial. It's a lower quality camera though, but I wanted to get one up for you guys without having to worry about setting my ISO and making sure everything works. And my other camera has been like an absolute jerk to me lately. It shuts off like constantly when I'm recording. And then I find myself having to go, when was I recording? When did it die? And then on top of it, the viewfinder that I have for it, it's super pathetic. So I really don't know what my composition or my focus looks like. I'm taking that purple, the Merlot shade, and I'm kind of blending it into the outside of the transition so it just blends nicely together. And I'm doing that on both sides of my eye. So now I'm going to blend out that fine line a little bit. So it's still a line right now, but I'm just going to blend it a little bit so it's not such a like stark line. Okay, so next I'm going to take this shade, I don't know all these colors yet, Burnished Bronze, and I'm going to apply it over the center of my lid. Did you know shimmers were actually created for lash line to lash line? Well, they're not created for that, but like when you use a shimmer, you should only use like where your lash begins and where it ends, and you shouldn't use it anywhere else, and you shouldn't use it on the bottom of your eyes. Shimmer, which ironically people believe is not for mature skin. So the like common makeup myth is that shimmer is not for mature skin. Like you can't use shimmer on mature skin. That's such a bad faux pas. And I believed that for a really long time. So I'm applying this to the center of my lid and where it's like raised the highest essentially. As in like in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So shimmer was actually created by Hollywood back in the day to bring radiance back into mature women's skin. So, like, if you have somebody really young that's like radiating hormones and dewy skin and they're super good, like super healthy, their skin's gonna just be like this beautiful glow. And then you put a mature actress next to her, and her skin's not gonna have the same glow because she's more like she's maturing. She doesn't have the same hormones and like naturally healthy, youthful skin just flowing out of her. So they created shimmer to use on the body and up to here, like from your toes to here, for women to give them that naturally glowy, dewy look that naturally younger skin has. Like, that not younger skin just radiates. Like, am I making any sense? I'm so ADHD. And so they created that for those women, but the common misconception is people put it all over their eyelids. Anytime you use shimmer, it brings out fine lines. So you should never, ever, 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 never put shimmer where there are fine lines. So you shouldn't put shimmer down here. You shouldn't put shimmer here. You shouldn't put shimmer anywhere that there are fine lines, because that actually accentuates fine lines and texture. So a mature woman can use shimmer if it's used correctly, and she can use it all over her body because it's actually created to give her a youthful glow, which I think is so interesting to learn, because I believed for a long time mature skin was not supposed to use shimmer. And the other thing I learned is that you're not supposed to use shimmer beyond your lash line. And so oftentimes YouTubers will use shimmer like right here and under their lash line, and you're actually not supposed to do that because it will actually bring out the appearance of fine lines, which I had noticed in the past because I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so not old, but I look old because of the fine lines there that the shimmer is bringing out. And metals, which is different than shimmer, is created to be a more vibrant shimmer or a more vibrant shine, are gonna really emphasize fine lines. So metals, those ones are like not gonna be for a mature woman's eye unless you use it in the totally correct placement. Like, you can't just slap it on. You gotta apply it in the correct areas. Okay, so after I've applied that to the center of my lid, I'm going to grab, let's see. I'm gonna grab, this is the cream eyeshadow brush actually, but I'm gonna use it to grab a lighter shadow. And I'm gonna grab this shade called Biscotti here. This little shade right there. And I'm going to apply this to the inner corner of my eye and what's left of the lid. So essentially, if you imagine my lid in thirds right now, I've covered a third with the dark Merlot shade. I've covered a heavy third with the burnished bronze shade in the center. And then I'm covering kind of a little bit smaller third. I know that fractions are supposed to be exact, but we're going to imagine them as not absolute right now. A smaller third on the center of the eye with the Biscotti shade. And then I would typically wipe this off. Is it totally pigmented? You need a clean brush to do the upper. This is a Wet n Wild brush. It sucks, but it works. I'm going to use this to grab the same Biscotti shade and apply it under my brow bone. Wow, this really is not what I wanted. Never mind, that brush is too stiff. This one's Wet n Wild and it's a little fluffier. That'll be better. So I'm going to grab that and apply the Biscotti shade under my brow bone and under my brow. And then I'm going to blend it over the outside of the Merlot and hazelnut shade I used earlier, just to like soften any fine lines. And then for quite a while, it was a fad to put a shimmer or sparkly shade up under your brow bone as a highlight. Currently in trends, it is to use a more matte shade. It looks more natural, and you're not like shimmer, 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 confusing people where to look. You're like brow, eyelid, and you confuse people on which area to emphasize. So use the shimmer in the center of your lid instead of under your brow bone. Then I'm just going to take my fluffy brush again and blend over that area. I'm going to take now, this is the Mary Kay Eye Smudger brush. I'm going to go into the same Merlot shade, and I'm going to apply this on my lower lash line, kind of acting as an eyeliner. Because sometimes I love my eyeliner, and sometimes I just don't want to take the time to put eyeliner on. And today might be one of those days. So, I'm going to apply that under my lash line. And then I'll smudge it out. I'm not going to go all the way in. I'm only going to go about like 3/4 of my lid. And then when I use foundation later, it'll kind of clean up any excess that I have. And then I'm going to smudge it above my lash line, just into that outer area, to make sure that's the deepest coloration on my eyelid. Do we want to do eyeliner? Maybe we'll decide that afterwards. Now we're going to go into skin. This is the Mary Kay Primer. This is really good for if you have large pores, and it's just a clear kind of, it looks kind of silicone-y and feeling, but it's a lot softer feeling. I'm going to take the liquid foundation brush and dip that into my primer, and then I'm going to apply it in circular motions to my face. It's good to, when you apply primer, to make sure you go every direction, because its job, at least for this primer, is to fill the pores and create an airbrushed canvas for your foundation. And if you only go one direction, you're only filling the pore from one way, and you need to make sure you fill the pore from every direction. That way you hide all those pores and they kind of vanish into a more flawless airbrushed look. So if you go down with the primer, make sure to go up. You want to make sure you fill the pore from literally every angle. And then I need a little bit more forehead. I was applying my primer with just my fingers, and I wasn't noticing a huge difference. I'm just thinking, what am I doing wrong? And so when I went to this training and she showed me to use this brush, I noticed such a drastic difference in the application it made to my makeup and the overall look. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I'm totally going to do that again. And it hid my pores, because I have big pores in this area, in my T-zone, especially around my nose. And so when I did it this way, I was totally amazed by how much it hid my pores. Alright, when I have the primer on, I'm going to switch to my CC cream. I don't think I'm going to use my foundation today, actually, because I do like this foundation, and it gives me a really nice, like, full coverage look, or like a going out look, but you're not technically supposed to only use a CC cream as your foundation, but I do enjoy doing it sometimes. So I'm going to apply this to the back of my hand, and I'm going to apply this onto my face with circular motions as well. This is a color correcting cream, so essentially it's only made to color correct, and it has SPF 15 in it. So it's nice if you need just like really simple, fast color to get out the door, or like you're going to the beach and you just want a little bit of sun cover and maybe a little bit of color correction, but you don't want to put on a ton of makeup because you're just going to go hang out in the like muggy heat. So I'm just applying that all over my face. This is truly like my favorite thing to wear as foundation, but their foundations are really nice too. I have not actually tried the luminous one yet. That is the next one I need to purchase so I can demo it on people, and I feel like I would really like that one. The matte one is a super great seller for a lot of people, and they love that matte finish, but I kind of like a natural glow and a radiance that like your skin naturally has anyways, because it makes it look more natural. Makes it look more natural. So once I have that CC cream on, which I'm liking, I'm going to drag around my neck, because you always want to make sure you drag any excess product down so your face blends with your neck and you don't have one of those crazy obnoxious lines. Next, I hope I'm not running out of time and my phone doesn't die on me, I'm going to grab, I'm going to grab the Deep Ivory, because another common misconception is that your concealer should be lighter than your skin tone. Wrong. Your concealer should be as close to your skin tone as it possibly can be. So I'm taking the deep ivory, that's more like my skin tone, and I'm going to take the under eye corrector. It's kind of an orangish color to cancel out any puffiness or dark circles under your eyes. And I'm going to mix that together with my cream eyeshadow brush, which I should have cleaned off, but because I'm in a hurry, I'm not going to. I'm going to mix those two together, and I find for my coloring, sometimes I need a little bit more of the concealer than the color corrector. It should be part to part, like 1 part eye color corrector, 1 part concealer, but for me, I need just a little bit more concealer because it's just orange enough for my skin tone. And then I'm going to take that under my eye on both sides of my face. And this is going to help cancel out any darkness under my eyes, any dark circles. Oh no, my battery's gonna die. I have to plug it in. Please don't die. Please don't die. So I'm blending that out under my eye. I drag it up a little bit. Like, a lot of people put a super light color under their eyes and they think that triangle method ain't wrong. So wrong. Wow. I've learned so much from like my recent cosmetology studies, and when I went to the Lori Hogg workshop, so many myths were busted about makeup. It was amazing. Like, most YouTubers online have no idea what they're talking about. It's kind of hilarious, actually. Like, some of the most famous people that make tons of money for makeup on YouTube are actually like doing a lot of makeup things wrong, or like using them in a way that they weren't actually created for. It's makeup, so truthfully you can do what you want, but to do it in a way that most emphasizes your own beauty, there's a reason, there's a study for that. Like, people actually know what they're talking about. Okay, I'm gonna plug you into the charger and see if I can still get an angle with you charging. Okay, I have it plugged in. I hope you guys can see me. I don't lose this. I'm really trying to make sure I get these videos done with limited editing so you can still have videos amidst my messy, crazy life. Okay, so I have just applied the under eye corrector and concealer. Now I'm going to take my angled brush. This is the cheek brush. Yes, cheek brush. It's a 4-in-1 brush. It does multiple things. I'm going to take this brush for my contour and blush, even highlight. So to contour, there's this little divot right here in this Mary Kay brush, and that's where you place your finger, like your index finger. And that's, you're going to go this way because it's going to taper off and brush the product up instead of brushing it down, dragging your face down. And then if I want to do highlight, I actually flip it and put my thumb here, and this is how I'm going to take just that edge there and put my highlight on. Another common misconception is highlight in streaks. People put a stripe, this is something I did. Stripes all over that face, and according to the makeup artists I've been studying who actually have degrees in this crap, they're like, you know what that looks like? It looks like a stripe on your frickin' face. No. So actually what you're supposed to do is create a natural glow that brushes up your face. So you actually bring your highlight up. So you bring like a little bit on the cheek and you let it naturally fade off up your cheek. So you're going to get a natural glow that radiates on your face, but it's not going to be this frickin' stripe down the side of your face. So we're going to go into the contour first with my index finger in the little divot. I'm going to dip into my latte contour right here. There's 2 of them because this one's running out. I've hit pan according to how normal, like all the beauty bloggers say. So I'm going to tip that over and I'm going to brush into my cheekbone area. And I'm going to blend it out in circular motion so I don't have any straight, harsh lines. Another common misconception with contour bronzer is people think the 3. So once again, something that the makeup artists say is, do you know what that looks like, the 3? It looks like a 3 on your face. Like, truthfully, like good makeup artists that like work in Hollywood, or the people that do news anchors, like the stuff that's really legit. It's meant to look natural and do its best job for your already naturally beautiful face. So they say to not do a 3. You don't just go like this. You have to excuse my shower hair. I look like a total nerd right now. You don't do a big 3 on your face. You do a lift. So it is a 3, but you lift in between each one. So instead of coming around here and drawing your face backward, you're actually going to fill your forehead, lift, do the cheeks, lift, do the jaw. So I'm going to do my forehead. And I have a very large forehead, so I can do quite a bit more here because I have a Hessling forehead and it is huge. My family, my maiden name was Hessling, and so we always made jokes in the Hessling family that we had huge foreheads. So I'm going to blend that out, blend it into my hairline a little bit because it's darker than my skin tone, obviously. And I don't want a random line that people are like, that's where her makeup ends. Another cool thing about these brushes that I learned is that these are synthetically made, which is really good for makeup, but most synthetic made brushes that you find are actually made of polyester, which is not made to blend into your skin. It's not, it's actually like, it's definitely not a good thing to have in your makeup brushes. I need to remember the exact reason as to why. There was a scientific reason. But you need your brushes to be made out of nylon, because that's much better. Was it nylon? Oh, frick. I'm going to have to look in my notes and tell you, and then I'll put it at the end of this video. Because polyester equals bad, these equal good. So, I'm doing that. I'm going to do my chin. Doing my jawline. J-Lo's makeup artist, he does this technique where he goes under the jawline and he calls it snaturally. Like that's his trademarked snaturally name. Because you don't put it on here, you put it under your jaw because it's going to give you definition, and then it gives you a snatural look. You snaturally look like you have a thick jawline. Well, not thick, like a tight, nice jawline. Know what I'm saying, y'all? I'm just dragging that down so I don't have some crazy lines on my face. Next, I'm going to go into the blush. Typically, I would brush this off onto a washcloth, which I don't have right now since I'm in a hurry. I'm going to dip into my blush. It is this color right here. It's kind of a peachy color. This is my more pink color brush, but I like, or blush, I've been liking this peachy color. This shade, if you're curious, let me check. This shade is called, I think it's like Hot Coral or something like that. No, Juicy Peach. It's called Juicy Peach. I'm going to dip into Juicy Peach, and I'm going to flip my brush so my finger's on this side now. The tapered side is going down, and I'm going to apply that onto my cheeks. One of the funny misconceptions about blush is that you're supposed to stick it on like the apples of your cheeks, like right here, and that just makes you look like a Barbie doll. That only works for like a couple face shapes. So I'm blending that up into my contour area and a little bit above. What's funny is oftentimes beauty vloggers, you'll see their contour and you'll see like bronzer, blush, highlight. It looks like like 3 on top of each other. But the idea is for them to blend together so you don't see the lines of each one. You want them to be a consistency. Another thing you can do is take anything left on your brush for the blush and move it around your face so you bring like a continuity to your face, that color is continuous, not just in one spot. And if you're trying to find your actual natural blush color, what you should do is with no makeup on, squeeze your cheeks and see your natural flush color, because that's going to be the color that's going to look the most natural for when you purchase a blush. So now I'm going to flip that over so my thumb is in the divot, and I'm going to dip into my highlight. This is called Honey Glazed, just glazed. So I'm going to dip into glaze, tap that off, and I'm going to take that sharp end right there, and I'm going to brush my highlight up my cheek instead of like a stripe. So it's kind of down here where I'm going to have natural, like you can already see that I have natural glow there. And I'm going to brush that up. Another thing you can do before you put your makeup on is apply lotion to the areas you want to look dewy or naturally highlighted. And that will naturally give you an illumination in those areas. This is a little bit more sparkly, and it kind of if you don't use it well, it can bring out texture. So you need to, sometimes a lotion would be even better because it's actually going to not bring out that texture. I'm going to just get a little bit on my forehead. Another thing I was told is don't do the boop at the nose, end of the nose, which is something I did, like the little boop right here. And I was realizing it does look kind of hilarious when you see people that just have like this random circle on the end of their nose. It's just shiny in one spot. Like, woohoo, there's the end of their nose. So, one of the other misconceptions is don't do the little circle at the end of your nose with highlight. You just want a natural radiance, know what I mean? Natural highlight. Because that's what's going to make you look the most beautiful instead of, wow, she's wearing a butt ton of makeup. Okay, so, and you've noticed I did this before powder. Why? Is because I'm going to lock in my powder, which I should have already used my setting spray after my primer. But I'm going to set that down. These products blend really well together, and it doesn't like stick and create patchiness when I go over the cream. And this is going to help my bronze and blush last longer than putting the powder on before I put those on, because then they're just going to wear away a lot faster. Not all products do this very well. Some products, when you use cream and powder, they do not blend well because they're not quite as finely milled as these are, or their blend capability is just bad. And so oftentimes you'll be able to see, like, if you use a concealer, or what am I trying to say? If you use a liquid foundation and then you go over with a powder blush or powder product, sometimes it doesn't blend well. And so it's commonly believed that you shouldn't apply powder over liquid, but when they blend, they're made to blend well together, it helps it last longer. So now I'm taking my all over powder brush, and I'm dipping it into my translucent loose powder, and I'm setting down all the liquid on my face. So I'm blending that out. I like do a stippling motion to set it down first, and then I go over with the brush motion, because the stippling motion at first helps to set the product down, and then you can brush over it so you don't brush away the liquid product you've put underneath it. So another thing I learned, actually, you don't want to use it with a translucent loose powder, but if you use a mineral powder foundation and you're an oily skinned girl, what you can do is you can take a big fluffy brush like this and put your hands like this in kind of a cupping motion, so I'm hugging it with my fingers, and then you roll that powder onto your face like this, and it's going to help create a mattified effect that will hold your foundation on longer and keep those oils locked in. Also, if you apply a lotion first to your face before you do that, or before you use really mattifying products, it's going to help your face think it is hydrated, and it's not going to become as oily to rehydrate your face. Because if you use super mattifying products, sometimes your face will be like, oh my gosh, we have no oil left. And so it'll actually get more oily. And so when you apply a lotion before those products, your face is going to lock in that moisture, and it's going to think, oh, I'm not oily, I don't need to produce more oil under this matte foundation. Okay, so now I decide if I want to just do mascara or if I want eyeliner. I think I just want eyeliner. My silly shower hair just chilling out right here. Look like a little volleyball player. Anyways. Okay. I'm going to set my face down one more time. The setting spray is so good. Another good thing to do if you have oily skin is that if you have oily skin, as ironic as this sounds, is to use a hydrating mist before you put on your primer and everything. So a hydrating mist is actually created for oily girls. Because if I remember correctly, one of the most main ingredients in the first 4 of those like hydrating mists is for oily skin. It helps lock in moisture so you don't produce excess oil. And so using a hydrating mist before you add your makeup is actually going to help you be less oily. Who knew? Okay. Let's see here. What are we doing? Another thing I was learning is that if you see like a line on your foundation or like that powdery look on the outside of your hair, what you can do is spray a spoolie brush like this with your Scandinavia. I just heard something touch my house. That was weird. You can spray your spoolie with your setting spray and brush out your hairline right there, and it's going to help brush off any of that makeup product and bring your normal hairline back and brush in any product into your hairline. Like so you don't have crazy lines. Okay. See how naturally dewy and like pretty my skin's looking? Okay, let's do mascara and call it quits. So I'm going to use, this is the Mary Kay Lash Love Mascara. I'm going to apply this to my lashes, both top and bottom. And then I'm going to do lips and call it good. These, I actually need to pull another one off my shelf. These ones are kind of on their last leg. I've been using them like crazy. Another fun fact for you, because I'm just all about the fun facts today, is that mascara collects bacteria really easily, and you should never use a mascara past 3 months, which seems really kind of sucky for us people on budgets, because in college I used the same mascara for like a freaking year, and I just added water and I made that mascara last all dang year because I was poor. I lived on like $40 a month one semester of college. It was pretty boss. So I am just applying my mascara. This is kind of the uneventful part. One of the things that Lori Hogg, a celebrity makeup artist, was saying, and she uses only Mary Kay products, which is pretty awesome. She was saying when you apply your mascara, you kind of make like a back and forth motion at your lash line, like go like this right at the base of your lash line, because that's going to thicken your lash line, and then you do one coat, switch to the other eye, do a coat, switch back to the other eye, do another coat, and that will help you get the most out of your mascara look. Another thing I've learned from like 30 facials I gave this month is that oftentimes when women get mascara on their eyelid, they always freak out and try to go like this and get it off really fast. No. Just let it sit there, let it bug you, let it dry, take a brush and dust it away, and it'll go right away. You don't have to worry about it smudging, you don't have to be worried about it messing up your makeup. Totally gets rid of the problem with zero effort and having to like totally redo your face. Because we've all been there. At least I did when I was young in high school. I remember like sneezing and getting mascara all over my face and being like, oh no, and then making a giant disaster by trying to wipe it off. Okay, so mascara is on. My hair is bugging me still. And we're going to do lips now. So I'm going to use my Mary Kay lip liner. This is in the shade Medium Nude. And what's cool about these is that on the end of the lid, they come with a little sharpener. So you can dip the end in and twist it and actually sharpen up the edge to have more of a point. I'm going to apply this to my lips, and it's going to be nearly impossible to talk while I do it, so I'm just going to not talk. This lip liner is really creamy, so if your lips are hydrated, you can actually kind of smudge it around and make it blend in as a lip color instead of just having that funny line on the outside of your lips. If I want rosewood or a more brown color. I don't want that one. So this color is really similar to the lip liner I actually had on. So I just used Rosewood. This lipstick is called Rosewood. It's a semi-shine lipstick. I'll say this part. I'm just taking a little bit of brow gel right here. So one of the other commonly makeup faux pas tricks for makeup is the technique called baking. And people do baking all the dang time. But here's why it's bad. It causes you to prematurely age. Who knew? So, I was shown this girl who was getting her senior pictures done, and she was 17 years old, but because she'd been baking every single day, she had actually caused herself to prematurely age under here. So when you bake and you add all that powder there, you're actually pulling all of your natural moisture out of your skin. So she actually began to have fine lines that she shouldn't have had for 16 more years because she'd been baking every single day. So when you bake your face, which means you take a bunch of your powder and you stick it in one place with a sponge and you set it like this and you leave it there for 15 minutes and then you dust it away to give you a bright effect and to lock it in, that's actually super bad because it will cause you to age faster. Don't do it. Let's see. So I was going to mention something about brushes quickly before we finish. What is it? Brush. Okay, so our brushes are nylon. The brushes that are most brands that are synthetic are created with polyester. And polyester is not good for your makeup brush. So if you can find synthetic brushes, because synthetic's good, if you want to get your brushes with synthetic brushes, I can't talk. So if you want to get good brushes, get synthetic brushes that are made with nylon, not polyester. Yeah, that was the tip. Okay, so let's end this video. Thank you guys for watching. This has been my full face of makeup using Mary Kay products only. I have become a Mary Kay sales representative recently, or Mary Kay sales representative, I said that wrong. An independent Mary Kay consultant. So a lot of people do that. A lot of people kind of give it crap on it because it is a network entrepreneurial business that people can't just if you're somebody that has to have a boss tell you what to do and you want something that's consistent away from your home, you might not like this business. But for me, I've loved it. It's given me so many more opportunities. It's given me hope for a direction in my life. I'm super excited to do this, and I hope you guys enjoy the videos I create from it. I'm not going to do only Mary Kay stuff. I'm going to continue to give you lots of content. But there will be a mixture of Mary Kay in my videos. So thanks for watching my full face Mary Kay. If you're interested in getting any of the products, I'll have a link below to my Mary Kay website, and you can go on there and get some products. And if you actually, because this is kind of something cool that I get to do, is I do facials with people. So if you're interested in getting a Mary Kay facial, you can comment below, or you can find me on Casey J's Mary Kay on Facebook and message me. We can set a facial so we can get together and give you a skincare consultation and a color customization for your specific, for your skin tone, for your eye color, all those good things. Anywho, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe and come back and see me giving you lots of content about downsizing, tiny homes, well, hopefully tiny homes, life hacks, lots of makeup, obviously, skincare, house stuff, just life. I also sing and like to have fun, and I travel a lot, so I'd love to have you here on my channel. I'm still small. I'm still going to respond to all your messages. We're going to be buddies if you subscribe. So subscribe, and have an awesome day. I love you guys. Bye, guys. I love you.